Bless the Lord, O my soul, blessed art thou, Lord. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all he hath done for thee, who is gracious unto all thine iniquities.
During Great and Holy Lent, we are called by the Church to make use of the sacrament of Holy Confession frequently. Many people, and many jurisdictions for that matter, require that confession be held, that you go to confession before you receive Holy Communion. So if you're a weekly communicant, you go to confession weekly. Other jurisdictions don't really make that a priority. Unfortunately, for those jurisdictions that don't make confession a priority, there are many people that maybe go to confession once a year. And this is very tragic for the faith, and it's tragic for one's inner life. Confession is this tool of the Church given by Christ himself when he said, if you confess, you will be forgiven. He makes that clear, and he gives the Church authority to pronounce the absolution. I remember many years ago when I was in my former profession, hearing some fellow psychologists say that it was a pity that they didn't have confession, because they said that if they had confession and could pronounce absolution like the Catholic Church, there would be people that would be less likely to be filled with guilt that was difficult to get rid of. Certainly that's been my experience within the Orthodox Church. There are so many individuals who are plagued with guilt. Oftentimes it's guilt from when they were young people or children or teenagers or in college, when they kind of threw their faith to the side and lived in abandonment. And they remember those days and they feel so guilty about it. One of the wonderful things about becoming a monk, and that I was not aware of before then, was that just as in baptism we wear a white robe, in monastic profession we are given a black robe, and it's seen as the second baptism. Baptism washes away everything. For instance, in the Orthodox Church, a man is not allowed to be ordained a priest if either he or his wife were previously divorced. But if they were outside of the church and became baptized within the church, baptism wipes out everything. And it's a good thing for all of us to remember, because that's a good reason to set aside the guilt of the past. But it's also a good reason to remember that every time we go to confession and we receive Christ's absolution, remember the priest is a stand-in for Jesus Christ. And as we stand before the gospel book and the cross in confession, and we receive the absolution, it's Christ's absolution through the priest, his agent. And at that moment, we are told by Christ himself, go and sin no more. And yet if we allow ourselves to be filled with guilt, and we don't throw aside the feeling of guilt about who we are as priests, as lay people, or as Orthodox Christians, then we are bound to continue on the path of sin, because we really don't believe that we've ever been forgiven. So let us embrace the mystery of confession. Let us make confession a central part of our lives as Orthodox Christians, that we might accept the forgiveness of sins and cast aside all guilt which has been taken from us by our Lord Jesus Christ himself. May God make it so.
Both now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. Only begotten Son and immortal Word of God,